The Journey of Hope. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a young man named Jack. Jack was a simple man with a big heart. He lived in a little cottage at the edge of the village. Every day, he worked hard in the fields. Jack was not rich, but he was happy. He had a loving family and many friends. But one day, something terrible happened. The weather changed. There were no rains for many months. The crops in the village began to die. The animals had no food, and the people became very sad. Jack's family had no money, and the village was full of worry. One evening, Jack sat with his family in their small cottage. They had no food to eat. His mother looked at him and said, "Jack, what will we do? There is no rain. The crops are dead. How will we survive?" Jack looked at his mother and tried to smile. "We will find a way, Mother. We must be strong." But deep inside, Jack felt afraid. He did not know what to do. He looked out the window at the dark sky. "Maybe the rain will come soon," he thought. The next day, Jack decided to leave the village and search for help. He wanted to find a way to save his family and the people in the village. He packed a small bag with food and water, kissed his family goodbye, and started his journey. As Jack walked through the forest, he thought about his family. He loved them very much, and he wanted to make them happy. He wanted to see them smile again. But the road was long and difficult. The forest was dark and full of strange noises. Jack was scared, but he kept walking. On the third day of his journey, Jack reached a big town. The town was busy and full of people. Jack was tired and hungry, but he knew he had to keep going. He walked into a small shop and asked the owner, "Excuse me, do you know where I can find help for my village? My family and my people need food and rain." The shopkeeper looked at Jack and said, "There is a man in the mountains who can help you. He is a wise old man. He knows many things. If you want help, you must go to him." Jack felt hopeful. "Thank you. I will go to him." The shopkeeper gave Jack directions to the mountains. Jack continued his journey. The road to the mountains was very hard. It took him many days to reach the top. Jack was very tired, but he didn't stop. He thought about his family and his village. Finally, Jack reached the top of the mountain. There, sitting by a small fire, was the wise old man. He looked at Jack and smiled. "You have come a long way, young man. What brings you here?" Jack explained his problem. "My village has no food, no water, and no hope. I need help. Can you help us?" The wise old man looked at Jack with kind eyes. "I can help you, but first you must answer a question," he said. Jack nodded. "I will do anything to help my family." The wise man asked, "What is the most important thing in life?" Jack thought for a moment. He had been through so much. He had faced many challenges, but he knew the answer. "The most important thing in life is love," Jack said. "Love for family, love for friends, and love for life itself." The wise man smiled. "You are right, young man. Love is the key. You must return to your village with hope in your heart. You must help your people find the strength to love and care for each other. Only then will the rain come." Jack was confused. But how can love bring rain? How can we eat and drink without food and water? The wise man looked at Jack kindly. "You will see. Go back to your village. Love will guide you." Jack was confused but thanked the wise man. He left the mountain and began his long journey back home. He was tired, and his heart was heavy. But he remembered the wise man's words, "Love will guide you." When Jack arrived at his village, he saw that things had become worse. People were sad, and they had no hope. The crops were dead, and the animals were thin. Jack felt afraid again. But then, he remembered the wise man's words. "Love will guide you." Jack decided to do something. He gathered the people together in the village square. "We have lost so much," he said, "but we still have each other. We must help each other. We must share what we have and love one another." At first, the people were confused. "How can we share when we have nothing?" they asked. But Jack didn't give up. "We may not have food, but we have kindness. We may not have water, but we have love. Let us care for each other. Together, we can survive." The people listened to Jack. Slowly, they began to help each other. They worked together to find food, share what little they had, and support one another. As they worked together, something amazing happened. The sky began to change. The clouds grew dark, and soon, rain began to fall. The rain was gentle at first, but then it grew stronger. The crops in the village began to grow again, and the animals were happy. The people cheered and danced in the rain, filled with joy. Jack smiled as he watched them. He knew that love had saved them. In the days that followed, the village became a place of happiness and hope. People worked together, loved each other, and shared everything they had. Jack had learned an important lesson. Even in the darkest times, love and hope can bring light. Jack's family was happy again, and the village thrived. Jack had brought hope to his people, and they had learned that love was the most important thing in life.